This is the Coin Show Podcast, the show about coins and coin collecting, and not just any show. This is the #1 coin collecting podcast, going 10 years strong. Here's Matt Dinger and Mike Nottelmann on the Coin Show Podcast.
It is episode 183 of the Coin Show Podcast, and a very special episode live from the Numismatics Portal Symposium. I got it right.
Barely.
NNP Symposium, like, well, barely, whatever. I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
And on this very special episode of the Coin Show Podcast, Matt and I will talk about what's going on in our corners of the world. We will take Q&A from the Numismatic Portal Symposium attendees.
Didn't get it right that time.
Well, the NNP Symposium attendees. I won't even bother anymore. And we will do just wait until you hear the other story I got. And we'll do our competition segment of who had the coolest thing walk into our shops this week. But first, as always, the news.
Now, anybody that watches the show knows that this is my absolute favorite part that we do. So, Mike, who is the news?
I have no idea why.
I don't either. But who's the news brought to you by?
Well, tonight we have two sponsors.
Yeah.
Because it's a special event. We have special sponsors. So tonight the news is brought to you by Puddles.
Puddles?
Letting the world know that it just rained for as long as anyone can remember. Puddles. And by Screws, helping the world hold it together since 200 BC. Screws.
Oh, both very good. Very, 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 very good.
So, Matt, we begin this week with a story of spring, hope, and new awakenings. Lovely.
That was lovely.
As a sure sign that the world is starting to peek back out from the lockdown, the ANA has reopened its lending library.
Awesome.
So the ANA announced the reopening in their monthly money mail on March 17th. And this is great news and a sure sign that the hibernation of America, the end of the hibernation of America, is finally in sight.
Yeah, we're starting to wake up and get back to somewhat normalcy again. And here we are. Yeah,
life will return at some point. It's just, look, this is going to be one of these things our kids are going to tell their grandkids about.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just one of those once in a century things.
Yeah, insanity. But hey, it is. I am glad to see that things are starting to come back to.
It's definitely a positive sign. It's great.
Yes, sir.
So, one note: the ANA library has digital access to back issues of the Numismatist, so you can actually access that online. And I understand that there are copyright issues to be worked out with the rest of the library.
Yeah.
But given that the ANA is a nonprofit, some deal for access digitally to the ANA library would be so much more accessible, as more than one person could use a reference at the same time. The chances of loss, theft, or damage to one of the books could be absolutely eliminated. A perfect example of how this can be done is the Numismatic Portal.
Yep, that's right.
So this is a bell that I've been ringing for about 7 years now.
Yeah, I know.
And I will continue to beat this horse until both the horse and, more importantly, I am dead.
Oh, wow. That got real dark in a hurry. I'm sorry, everybody.
All right, so in lighter news, the U.S. Mint released 2021 Proof Gold Eagles Volume 1. Okay. There's a reason why I give it Volume 1.
Yeah.
So this version was the 2021 W first reverse of 2021. And I say it that way so that we're not confused if they decide to do this reverse in San Francisco before moving on to the new reverse. It's not beyond them. It's not something that's completely out of the realm.
Yeah.
So these coins sold out within minutes. I do not understand the mentality of limiting the mintage on these coins, particularly when they seem to be so popular. And they have all year to make them. So why not mint them to demand? That just doesn't make sense to me. The Mint is not in the business of creating secondary market coins. So why are they doing that?
Well, maybe they've gotten into that business. Who knows?
They have no axe to grind in that, though. They can make more money if they sell more coins.
I know, we all know, but just is what it is.
US Mint has also released a 2021 Mint proof set. So this year's opening sales were off a bit from the last 2 years when special W Mint proof coins were included. This year's set is reminiscent of the old 6-coin proof set because there are only 2 quarter designs this year.
I know, it's a strange looking set, isn't it? That capsule with just the 2 coins in it's really odd.
Well, oddly, 3 less quarters doesn't give us any price break.
Oh, heck no. Why not?
The sets are the same $32.95 as last year, not to mention that they're not including the innovation dollar coins for some unknown reason. Dead horses I love to beat. However, this is our first opportunity to see the new Washington crossing the Delaware reverse and the old Washington quarter obverse.
Yeah.
I don't know which I was more excited to see, but only for this year, please. Next year, new program. I do not want to return to the old obverse.
Yeah, I would like it if they kept the obverse too. I want to see one in my hand first because I want to see how closely it resembles. I wonder if they redid the whole thing again or if they just kind of went back to some of the old hubs they had around. But yeah, I want to see one in hand. I haven't seen one.
New hubs or not. I don't think that the difference between the two will be significant. And I think of it in terms of the 1921 Morgans versus the rest of the Morgans. They were made with different hubs. But I mean, if you're really not looking for it, you wouldn't. I don't think that the average person would notice.
Right, for sure.
Coin Collector's blog asked a question this week that most people had absolutely no clue, and for really odd reasons, I happen to know the answer to.
Well, you know what? That doesn't surprise me a bit, Mike. You seem to know a bunch of things about things that only Mike would care about.
Well, this isn't even for caring about it. This actually just more has to do with my path in life. So the question was, who is Stuart Weitzman? And the question is, Matt, do you know who Stuart Weitzman was?
No, I feel like I've heard the name before, but it does not ring a bell, and I cannot tell you off the top of my head. No.
Okay, so Stuart Weitzman, he started a shoe company with his father and his brother, and the business kind of got sold in the early 70s, but he continued to design shoes and other women's apparel. I sold women's shoes in the early or late 1970s and early 1980s.
I would. You need to show me some pictures of you during this time period.
He was one of the designers of shoes that we carried, and so I knew the name.
Okay.
And that was just it. It's like, so I heard the name came up, and my boss said, well, Stuart Weitzman. I'm like, yeah, the shoe designer. He's like, no, I have no idea. I'm like, okay, I just have that odd piece of information.
Okay, so how does that relate to numismatics?
Okay, so the reason, I'll stop boring you.
I'll reel you in a little bit.
The reason that he's important to coin collecting is that he was the anonymous buyer of the King Farouk 1933 $20 gold double eagle.
Oh, cool.
It's legal to own thus far.
And so that was, let's see, 2002, 3?
Right around there. It was David Fenton.
Let me see if it says in the story here. But, right here, July 30th, 2002.
Okay. So Weitzman also owned the plate block of 4 inverted Jenny postage stamps. That's the holy grail of stamperary.
Yes, it most certainly is.
And he owned the plate block.
It's like the SVDB of stamps. If anybody knows,
it's really more like the 1948 double eagle.
Yeah,
because it's unique. It's a plate block. It's the only one.
Yeah. If anybody knows anything about stamps, they know about the upside down airplane. So, and
some people who don't know anything about stamps, like me,
right?
I know about the inverted Jennies because they're just that famous. It is as famous as the 1909 SVDB is, and rare as because it's unique what he has. So,
yes.
Weitzman, he had a very interesting life and a fairly interesting take on collecting. So he was quoted by Sotheby's as saying, "I had a lifelong dream of collecting the single greatest rarities into two great collecting areas of stamps and coins, and then placing these extraordinary treasures hidden away for decades on continuous public view." So the 1933 Double Eagle had been on display at the New York Historical Society Museum and Library since 2013.
Okay.
And the stamps, I'm sure it says in the story, I wasn't really delving into it that hard to see, where the stamps are on display, but both of them have been on public view. So, that was kind of cool that he had this, and he had the stamps, and he managed to stay anonymous still.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Wow.
He did not buy these to bring any type of acclaim to himself. He bought them because he really wanted to share them with the world. And that's what philanthropy is all about.
There you go. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Now I know who Stuart Weitzman is. Thank you, Mike.
Yes. Coin Week is reporting that submissions are being accepted for the ANA Young Numismatist Literary Awards.
Awesome.
There's a lot of really complicated things to say this time. 3 awards are available. The Bill Fiva Young Numismatist Literary Award for ages 8 to 12, the Q. David Bowers YN Literary Award for ages 13 to 17, and the Kenneth E. Brissett YN Literary Award for ages 18 to 22. Now, first place winners will receive a certificate, a $500 cash prize,
wow,
and a $500 voucher to build a numismatic library, courtesy of the very fine people at Whitman Publishing.
Awesome.
Second place winners will receive a certificate and a $200 voucher from Whitman, and third place a certificate and a $100 voucher from Whitman. So the guidelines for the submissions: when you're submitting your articles, you need to provide your ANA member number, your category of submission, and contact information. So your email, your phone number, and address on the first page.
Awesome.
You need to include the author's name, an award category, and the file name. Submissions are accepted in Microsoft Word or PDF format only. So that's really important to know. And up to 3 submissions per author are allowed. Completed entries should be emailed to htyndall@money.org or sent to YN Literary Awards ANA Publications Department, care of Hannah Tyndall, 818 North Cascade Avenue, Colorado Springs, Colorado, 80903-3279, for those of you that want to send it over land. And for additional information, please contact magazine@money.org. So, YN writers, we need more of them. We need more people to carry on, the knowledge and spread the word.
Well, I was going to say something, Mike, but you just nailed it. So.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Perfect.
I'll let you talk next time. All right. So in other ANA news, the first ever dealer day will commence on Monday, August 9th. Now, this is the day prior to the 2021 World's Fair of Money.
I'm actually rather interested to see how this goes. I will be attending said dealer day. So I will be able to give a firsthand report on how this goes. So it should be very interesting.
Will LDRC have a table?
No, I believe we'll be able to walk the floor, if I remember correctly.
Well, you can walk the floor. You just have to pay a dealer fee to get in.
That's fine. We do that all the time.
It's well worth it.
Yeah, it is for us.
According to the Coin Week article, the 2021 Dealer Day will be open to the dealer community from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. August 9th. The day-long event is not open to the general public. Attendees will also have access to lot viewing during Dealer Day for the World's Fair of Money auctions, being held that week by Heritage and by Stack's Bowers Galleries.
I mean, they've done something like this for a while with the PNG, and I think the PNG and the ANA kind of had a split up over this whole situation. The PNG hosts their PNG Day, which is very, very similar. It's almost the same thing, except it's really only available to PNG dealer members. So this will at least allow other dealers that are not PNG members to have a dealer day as well. So yeah, I mean, I think it's it kind of stinks because they couldn't get together and make it work together. But a lot of the guys, same people are going to be there, so at least there'll be that. But I'll be interested to see how it goes. I've attended the PNG days, quite a few times. So assuming it's very similar, then it should be successful for the dealers. I know it is for us.
Well, I mean, without involving myself in the actual politics of it, with the PNG versus ANA, it's really more a matter of, I like the fact that the ANA is allowing a wider, audience into this day.
Yeah.
But the PNG is not necessarily really happy about it. So they're kind of upset about the loss of PNG ANA trade show that used to immediately precede the World's Fair of Money.
Yeah.
And while I see this as a strictly business decision, the trade association is definitely not taking it lying down. So a blistering statement was issued by PNG President Richard Weaver, who voiced his disappointment at the severance of the PNG Day format by the ANA, stating that the new dealer day was done without giving the PNG an opportunity to at least negotiate a bid. So this will be the first time the PNG trade show does not lead into the World's Fair of Money in over 40 years.
Wow. I didn't realize that it was that big of a split. I just thought that it was kind of they couldn't come together. I didn't realize that there was no trying to come together. So,
well, and that's the thing. Weaver said that he was just really disappointed that they decided unilaterally to just do it. And, who knows? I just think that this kind of public airing of it means that there's definitely more to it than meets the eye.
There's trouble in paradise, friends.
Yes. Acrimony usually tells you that there's motion under the water.
There you go.
In news of another organization, the Rotary International celebrates 100 years in Australia this year. Wow. And the Royal Australian Mint has issued a commemorative $1 coin.
You are digging.
This is an aluminum bronze alloy coin.
You are digging deep for these news stories, Mike.
Hey, look, trust me, it all leads somewhere.
I
so
understand.
This coin is a 25 millimeter coin that weighs only 9 grams.
Okay.
Right. Rotary International is the logo is colorized in blue, and the rest of the coin is monochromatic. A mintage of only 40,000 coins is planned. A $5 silver proof coin is also available. The silver coin is limited to 3,000 pieces. Now, this could be a very cool challenge coin for Rotary members. Maybe it's me, but the portrait of Her Majesty looks to be different. And maybe I just don't see enough Australian coins.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough to comment on that one with the modern Australian circulating coinage.
Well, this is clearly not going to be circulating. The reason why I like Rotary is because it's a philanthropic organization, and I just think that what they do is dedicated to service, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, can't go wrong there.
Right. And maybe it is just me and not looking at those kind of coins, but it looks almost like she's aged more in this particular effigy.
Well, how now? I guess I have a question. How often do they change the bust, the style of the bust?
Several times
with age.
Remember, there's the young head, and some of the I forget the name of the confederation. The nations that are
sure. But I guess my question.
So all the Commonwealth nations, some of them have her with a crowned head. Some of them have them with a laureate head, and some of them have her with a plain head.
Well, yeah, that was kind of my thought. Do they get to pick, or does the minting authority get to pick, or is there some sort of edict that comes down from the Queen, or I
would think that the Queen has probably got a say on this, in what effigy will be used. She just has to rubber stamp it. I think.
It's just me being weird, but that's just kind of something I think about. How often, are they authorized to change it? Because I'm sure if they change it every year, most people wouldn't notice until you look at coins 40 years old. And
yeah, no, it's never been that often, but it has seemed to be every 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, that was kind of my thoughts too.
In 54, and then it changed in the 70s, and then it changed again in the 90s. It's recently changed, but it's like if you look at her uncrowned portrait on the new Reaper of Death coins.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
And no, that is not the Queen on both sides.
But wow, Mike.
But rather a Thanatothoristis Digrutorum.
Oh, say that one twice.
Yeah, right. I told you it's really tough stuff to say this time. So the first new Tyrannosaur discovered in Canada in over 50 years.
And yes, you're definitely correct. That is a much different effigy of the Queen.
It even looks younger.
I want to go back to the other one for a second. Yeah, it does. It really does. It's very. I guess it has to be something that's just chosen by the mints themselves, because there's an obvious difference between these two.
I still think that there's some approval process. So the coin is plated in rhodium,
Okay.
which gives it the distinctive black color. The images really jump off of that coin.
Yeah, I would like to see this coin in hand. I'm not. I haven't ever seen one of these rhodium plated coins, so it looks cool from the concept images here. So hopefully it's that cool in person.
I sincerely, I have to say that it's like the dinosaur coins that Canada have just been mostly winners.
Yeah.
They did the one with the glow in the dark bones, the skeleton inside of it. This one just really jumps off the coin. It's like some of these dinosaur things are cool, and I'm
Right. Yeah.
insert your own QE2 joke here. The Pobjoy Mint has released the second in its series of Big Cats of the World gold coins. Now, I love this story because this is a newer version of a popular 2-ounce silver coin series done in high relief. So popular, in fact, that the Pobjoy Mint decided to issue them in gold.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, well, the half-gram gold coins are being issued on behalf of Sierra Leone.
Wait, half gram?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's one.
Half-gram gold coins are being issued on behalf of Sierra Leone and have a mintage of 199 coins.
That's not a lot of gold. I mean, it's a tiny little thing. That picture shows it like the size of a 10th ouncer, but it's a half a gram is tiny.
I like to call this series Big Cats on Tiny Coins.
Yeah, for sure. The picture they put up is definitely not anywhere near the size that coin's going to be.
A half-gram gold coin is going to be like this.
It's 1/62 of a troy ounce.
Yeah, it's going to be like the size of a pencil eraser.
Yes, exactly.
You're going to need a magnifying glass to be able to see the design on this coin.
Yes, I almost.
But yet it's a Big Cats of the World coin.
Big cats on the little coins. I like that.
Tiny coins. Yeah,
smart.
Big cats on tiny coins. But this, to me, is not the silliest commemorative issue, even so far in 2021.
Oh boy, what do we got?
Gold and silver coins marking the 200th anniversary of the death of Napoleon Bonaparte are being issued this year by the small island of St. Helena by way of a coiner that I shouldn't try to pronounce in Munich, Germany.
No, I want you to pronounce it.
Oh, no. No, I'm German, and I'm not even giving this one a shot. So, I mean, these coins are really, really beautiful. They have low mintages and include some really cool features, like the rim of the silver coin shows a list of his most important lifetime events in a microscript.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So instead of reading, they have a microscript?
Well, they have reading around the coin. This is the edge.
Oh, okay.
Around the edge of the coin, it's microscript, and then the gold coin shows a little bit less detail and a shortened legend.
Oh, you're right. It's the rim. It's the rim of the coin. I was thinking the edge, and you were thinking you had it right.
Okay. So, so what's silly, you might ask, right?
Yeah.
So this coin celebrates the life of a man who cost 3.5 million people their lives.
Oops. France,
the supremacy that had previously enjoyed in Europe. So he's not a hero of Europe, but more a lesson of history. And most ironically, St. Helena, the minting authority for this coin, is where Napoleon was ultimately exiled and died.
Out in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen where St. Helena is?
I have it pulled up. Yeah.
In the Atlantic Ocean, pretty much centered between Africa and South America. It's about as far from Europe as you could possibly get.
Wow. Yeah,
now,
you're not kidding.
Exile was to Elba, which was an island. It still is an island off of the coast of Italy. But apparently that was too close because he came back and reigned again.
Yeah.
So when they exiled him the second time, far away was not far enough, apparently.
Well, apparently that's far enough away, especially during that period.
Well, it worked because he was there until he died in 1821.
Yeah.
But I just think it ironic that they're creating this coin celebrating a man who died there in exile.
Wow. Huh. Cool.
And finally in the news, kudos. And I really cannot emphasize this enough. Kudos to John Feigenbaum and the team at CDN Publishing.
Okay.
So the ANA created an awesome e-learning academy last year in an effort to help collectors during the lockdown. And this was such a great idea. And my personal excitement for this has been completely off the charts, right?
Yeah.
I have been unable to travel mostly sort of, due to certain current obligations that I have.
Sure.
And a summer seminar seems to be completely out of the cards for me, right? So when the ANA started the e-learning academy, I was just totally stoked.
Did you sign up and start getting into
Oh
it?
yeah, absolutely. Started taking some of the courses. Well, CDN Publishing is partnering now with the ANA to ensure that the webinar series remains viable and free of charge to all collectors.
Awesome. That's super cool.
So they're taking what was a really good idea and they're making sure that it stays up and that it stays viable and that it keeps going.
So it looks like it's on the money.org website here. You can scroll down and register. I'm just kind of scrolling through some of the different courses they're offering here.
Oh, the courses are awesome.
Beauty in the Banknote, Joys of Collecting Morgan Silver Dollars, Pricing Coins in Today's World with Jeff Garrett. I don't know who else better to teach you that one.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Damaged Goods, Grading 101, Die States on 1794 cents. Wow.
Hobo nickels.
Wow. Cool. Very, very cool, guys.
Yeah. And I mean, they're all free. And you've got really, really great experts teaching this material and they're in perpetuity.
That's super cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I think everybody should check that out.
Yeah. So that was the news. And the news was brought to you tonight by Puddles, letting the world know that it has just rained for as long as anyone can remember, Puddles, and by Screws, helping the world hold it together since 200 BC. Screws.
You're listening to the Coin Show podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottelmann.
Wow, that was a even for you, my friend, that was a long news section.
Well, I try to bring it.
It's okay.
I tried to walk you down a path
You
entertain you and make you laugh.
Consider it brought.
Okay.
You did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So anything really, really cool and interesting happening around your corner of the world?
I mean, we're just slowly but surely trying to get back to normal. We're open 2 days a week right now. Business is picking up, so we're kind of kicking around the idea of, opening another couple days, getting somewhat back to normal, being that most of, half of my employees are of that age that they can be vaccinated now that we're all, they're all becoming immunicorns. I think that it's time to get back to work.
I am looking very forward to the time when I can have my inoculation. It is not close yet, but yeah, it'll be great when we can all be injected and then we can just kind of meet freely. And look, I think the world has forever changed in some of the ways that we interact. There won't be as much hugging going on and stuff like that.
I'd still hug you.
I'm a big hugger. I am.
Yeah.
But, for example, with us, we have been operating 5 days a week, but we've been doing it with the door locked.
Yeah.
So, Harlan starts to see the business has been picking up and hey, when are we going to unlock the doors? We're not. It's like things are good the way they are.
I think
we have a really tiny shop.
Right.
The shop itself downstairs is small. And so we can't really have more than like 4 or 5 people in there other than the 4 employees. So, that starts crowding up pretty quick.
Yeah, I think that that's going to be the kind of the path that happens for a while. I think a lot of coin shops are realizing, hey, wait a second, we're doing just as much, if not more business on a limited schedule. Why are we paying people to be here? Why are we paying people to be here all this time when we're doing just as much business this way? So it might be interesting to see exactly how this pandemic affects brick and mortar coin shops.
Yes. And the people that work in them.
Yeah, for sure.
More importantly, because that's, I think, I don't think for us it's going to be an issue. We're basically downtown in Chicago, so we have a lot of business.
Yeah.
We have a lot of business.
Yeah.
So I really haven't seen it yet. That's what they keep telling me is it's like, Mike, you have had a very sheltered first year.
Yes, you really have. You most certainly have. I agree with that.
So, one of the things that I'm charged with from time to time is one of the things I don't get to do very often is look through coins.
Yeah.
and look through, bulk stock and stuff like that we have laying around. And, I've been informed way too many times that it's like, it's not worth it. And it's been shown to me mathematically, it's not worth it. By the time you make the money on it, you won't break even for the time you've spent. So, okay, no big deal. But I was instructed to check out a bag of Buffalo nickels by the store manager, and I was kind of puzzled as to why. I really didn't understand. But as I went through them, there were mint marked coins from the 20s. So I was like,
that's the reason. That's the reason right there.
So I think he knew that there were some of those in there, and so I was going through all of them, and I come up with a nice 26S.
Okay.
26S, and it's kind of fine-ish,
right?
VF-ish. It's there, so it's still a $70, $80, $90 coin.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, I'm looking, and I got to probably the last 15 coins, and I pick up a 37D.
Oh, you didn't?
I did.
Oh, you didn't?
I did.
I've never found one.
2XF.
Wow.
3-legged buffalo. And I got to walk over and just watch my CFO's eyes absolutely light up.
I've never found one in the wild. I've found a lot of stuff in the wild, but I've never found a 3-legger. So awesome. Good for you.
That was a nice first find.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with that stuff, though, is if, I wish I had time to go through stuff, but I just don't. Right. I mean, there's so much that we just cycle through, especially in that low end stuff, that I don't have the time to do it, and I don't want to pay somebody to do it. So,
well, I think one of the things that I've proven in the time that I've been there is that I will go through it faster than most people, because I just don't dwell on it. You look and you move on. It's like, if you can do it quick, you can go through some stuff.
Sure.
I shouldn't say it's my first find, because it's my second one. Like two months after I started there, I found a 49S Franklin half in 66 plus full bell lines.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, there was that, but then there's, now there's this. And
there's those big ones, though, that everybody should look for. I mean, should and do are two different things, but.
Well, it's amazing to me that was in the wild.
Right.
It absolutely blows my mind, but that's why you got to look.
Yeah.
And
I wish I had time.
Yeah.
Wish I had time. Well, you want to check in on the folks watching with us?
Absolutely. I want to take some questions if they have any.
Let's check it out. If you guys have questions, go ahead and bang them in now. We'll be happy to look at them. I can take a look and see what's going on. Get this pulled up here. There it is. Delmar corrected us and said that the George Washington quarter, the new one's going to have a 15% larger portrait of George Washington. So they're not going back to the old hubs. They're going to a brand new hub. So it's going to look completely different. It might be reminiscent of the earlier design, but it's definitely not going to be the same. So here we go again with another design change.
Well, that was one of your Secretary of the Treasury things, right? Discretion. It's been over 25 years.
Yeah, I guess so. But
I don't think I'm going to like it. I think there might be a reason why it doesn't show on the Mint website, because if you look, there are no pictures of that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I haven't even seen the obverse
all over the place. The line drawings, but the obverse, no.
I want to see it. I don't know. So
now my question is did they make the Washington portrait smaller when they made the statehood quarter obverse, because they had to cram so many other things onto that obverse with it, that maybe the 15% is the return to the normal size? Who knows?
That's funny. I never even thought about that, but that might be true. It's hard to say.
So we'll have to see what happens.
Delmar must collect these, because he said, yes, they did make it smaller. So maybe they are just returning back to the size that they were originally. So hopefully.
Yeah. You and I both want to see it. It's a retro that for 1 year, it's really cool.
Right.
Then go away. Don't go away, mad.
Just go away. So I guess I don't. You know how I feel about these quarter series, and I really don't want to get on here and rant.
Why not? It's fun.
Yeah. I'm not going to rant about quarters and the state quarter program and all the different quarter programs.
Look, I think that they have value. whether or not it be realized right now, whether it be realized 50 years in the future. I know that my kids and I had fun collecting the state quarters when they came out. Now, we did not enjoy the ATV quarters, mostly because they were older by that time and they had outgrown it.
Yeah.
So that wasn't something that we did. I will also tell you that my personal enjoyment with collecting the ATP quarters was really kind of dampened by the fact that they were so hard to find because of the way that they started, distributing coins with the ballistic bag. Now it was your Fed downtown gets huge shipments of coins. So when you get them, you're going to get them by the metric ton.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's all you'll see for a while. So, I think that the distribution has been poor. I think that but overall, it brought back the S-Mint circulation quarters, and that was just the ATV set. So I liked it. I think that the seniorage and stuff from this is all really, really, it's important, and it can be profitable.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're going to run $1.25 programs into perpetuity. And to be honest with you, I think that the $0.50 is next. They did it once before, but I think that they're going to do it again because they need to have a reason to mint these things every year.
Delmar also says the new quarter is supposed to be around for 10 years, and now their movement is to honor police and firemen, therefore changing the obverse of the quarter for the next 10 years, but using this larger obverse. Changing the reverse, I'm sure he meant to say, but
so I guess it's not going to be the Washington crossing to Delaware. It's going to be
honoring police and firemen. That that's something that
I wonder if it's going to be with the old Washington obverse.
We'll see. He says they're going to be using the slightly larger obverse. So
okay,
cool. Thomas asked, "Are there any shows that specialize in medallic art, or where are the shows that you would find most metal dealers?" Now, I will tell you that from my experience, I have seen the most medallic art dealers at the World's Fair of Money. I mean, it's just that's where they are. They have a whole section that has the world dealers, the medallic people. They're all there together. I don't know if there's any
much the answer for everything though.
Well, I mean, it is kind of a catch-all answer, but just from my personal experience being there, I have walked by these tables. I have seen tons and tons of stuff at these dealers' tables that all looks very interesting. I don't specifically deal in a lot of it, just simply due to the fact that we have to kind of be a jack of all trades in the store. But I do remember seeing quite a bit of it in that situation.
Yeah, and just to underline the fact that the World's Fair of Money is one of those places where it's like no matter how obscure the item that you collect, you will not only find a dealer there, you will find a group of dealers there.
Yeah.
It's like my brother and I, when we first kind of got back into collecting about 25 years ago,
mm-hmm.
we used to walk shows, but we didn't really want people, because they were always, hey, what are you looking for? What are you doing? And we just didn't really want to be bothered. So we'd always tell them bust dollars because we knew it'd shut them down, right? Well, we tried that at the A&A one year, and they were like, oh, okay, well, hold on a second.
Yeah, I have a box of them right over here. Just take a look.
No, we're not really interested in bust dollars. I'm sorry.
Let's see here. Barry Swan. Hi, Barry. What's the best coin you ever found in a bulk bag? I found a lot of interesting things. The best coin that I can remember recently was a 42/1D dime that ended up grading AU 55 at NGC. That was the last time I remember finding something super cool.
What kind of pennies have you found?
Pennies? What kind of pennies?
Have you found 22 no Ds? Have you found any?
I don't look much anymore. I wish I had time. That's the thing. We just move so much.
You're talking
weight.
all time.
All time? I don't remember. I look at a lot of coins.
Wow.
I really don't.
Nothing that exciting, apparently, Barry.
I mean, I found 35 double die Buffalo nickels, probably 3 or 4 dozen of those. 36 double die penny or cents, sorry. 36 double die cents, 17 double die cents. I find that stuff just when I get very rarely though do I look anymore. I just don't have time. I wish I did. Let's see here. David Given the high mintage, why are the prices of W-proof Silver Eagles so high right now on the secondary market? That's a question for Mr. Nottelmann here, because Mr. Nottelmann is the modern guy.
Well, my pontification on this is that the last 2 years they have cut off sales and limited mintage, and that's it. They raised the price, so the price from the mint went up, and then they cut off the mintages, so not everybody who wanted one got one. Now I think it started in 18 when they started making the S mint proof and the W mint proof, and then they did it again in 19, and they did it again last year. And with the Silver Eagles, I think they have said that they're going to do it again this year. But they're cutting off mintages of them. So like the proof Silver Eagles this year in particular, 2021, they had a limited mintage of, which I still don't understand why, and they limited the order to 99 per household.
Then they sell it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That's just absolutely bad, because average collectors that want this coin just for their collection are now going to have to pay huge money on the secondary market for a coin that just isn't worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, think about the 75th anniversary of World War II Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that everything's died down just a little bit,
what are they worth?
Right? What are they worth?
Last numbers I saw were like the Silver Eagles were 250-ish, 300-ish. Again, I don't pay much attention to that, because if I see it in passing, looking at some of the dealer sites, I might remember it, but that's kind of the number I remember, 250-ish. Yeah, they were 500 there for a while.
And now we're starting to see the same thing right now with the Gold Eagle proofs that just came out and sold out in about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, some of the mintages on these are really small. And I will tell you, just as a heads up to collectors, if you have coins like that you want to flip, do not, I repeat, do not call coin shops and say, I have these, what's your buy price?
Why not?
And if they, because it generally won't work. It's like if they have a published buy price, they'll tell you. Okay, but if they then ask you, well, what do you want for them? They're not going to be somebody that's going to buy your coins. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, when there's when there's an issue like that, we'll try to buy them for a little while, but we'll buy them and move them to some of the big national guys that are trying to put large groups of them together for grading or whatnot. I'll buy them for that reason, but I'm not going to buy them to stock them.
Well, and I'm not going to go into the market of bidding against other dealers, via phone.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Because that's what is happening the majority of the time. And all it really does is it just makes the dealers aggravated from the standpoint of, look, I may want to buy the coins.
Right.
And if you have a reasonable price in mind, let me know.
Yep.
It's like, do you buy these? Yes. Okay. Well, it's like, can you tell me what you buy them at? Well, what are you looking for? Have an answer.
Let's see. Delmar with another good question. You're being awful curmudgeon-y today, but it's okay, because that's what we get with Mike, and we know.
Sometimes.
See, Delmar has another good question. With the cancellation of Central State Show next month, what is a good large show in the Illinois-Wisconsin region?
By the time we can go to one, the ANA will be in Chicago. It'll be in Rosemont this summer, in August.
Yep, I think that's hopefully that show goes. I would love to get to a really, really large show like that, but I want to do it safely. We've talked about this several times. I want to be safe. I want everybody that comes to the show to be safe.
Long Beach just got canceled.
I know. The shows are still being canceled.
So yeah, the next big show after that is going to be the ANA in Chicago in August.
We'll see. Hopefully things are starting to come back. We just got to finish this last little bit, and then we'll be back to.
Don't give it up now.
Yeah, that's right. Don't let your foot off the gas yet.
We've been working really hard, and the numbers are all pointing in the right direction. And there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it is not a freight train.
Right. Little shows. There's lots of little shows. You look around. I know we have a local little show that goes on. They do the social distancing and the masks, and they do okay. And I hear that people are getting back to the collecting there, and that's fine. So you might peek around for some little shows and see if there's something you can't go kind of wet your whistle a little bit for the coin show scene, and then hopefully this summer we can get back to it. Let me see. Leonard says, you deal exclusively with the public. What is it about coins that makes people think that they know value when they are really clueless? I have one word for you, Leonard. I'm going to take this one. You can also
Can
answer.
you repeat it, please?
Yes. He says, you deal extensively with the public. What is it about coins that makes the public think they know value when they're really clueless? There's really one word that describes or that answers this question for me, and that one word is internet. There's a lot of really, really terrible coin information out there on the internet, places like Etsy, TikTok, a lot of these new media pages. There's a lot of people in there that just put out content that is bad. I mean, it's good for them because they get lots of clicks and they get lots of advertising, but it's really the information itself is just crap. Pardon my French, but it's just bad information. And then, people see this information, they don't understand what they're looking at because it may be over their heads or it may be poorly executed. And then they tend to call into shops thinking that they have exactly what they saw in that video that somebody said was worth $25,000. So, and they don't. They never do.
You have these young content creators that their thing right now is to create content regardless of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they do is they come high energy and they talk about things and they kind of get you, hey, you can find this in your change. That's usually how all these start. It's like, hey, this penny sold for $13,000, and here's how you can tell. And then they show some really obscure thing that there's like 6 of, and they look, if that gets people looking at their change, I'm cool with that, as long as the information that they're giving you is accurate. Yes. The problem is that you have a lot of these younger content creators that don't really have a lot of experience, that think that they know way more than they do, that start creating this content. And the fact that it's on a platform, the fact that it's on a screen in front of people, now it gives them credibility. And
even though the information is junk.
Even though the information is completely wrong.
Yeah.
Then what happens on top of it is, because of the level of energy or the subject matter, because get rich is always it's a very clickable subject, they become clickbait. And by doing that, now they start to get a lot of subscribers. Now they start to get a lot of views. And it's insane how that stuff blows up.
Did I ever tell you about the signs that we have on the wall at the office?
That says, do not confuse your Google search with our numismatic
experience.
Knowledge. Yeah. Every coin shop has one.
I point to that several times.
No politics, no drama, just coins.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
I like that one.
Yeah, I might need to make that one as well.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know.
Let me move on here. David says, this is the first exposure to your show. How often do you change your content online? Well, David, we do this show every 2 weeks live. It also goes up to Apple in the podcast form, audio only. And then we create video content for YouTube, Facebook, several of those a week. So we're always putting stuff out. We also do a second show for people that support the show only. Everything we do, we don't actually do any advertising at all on the show. Everything we do is supported by people that like the show, and that way,
excuses people just don't pay much anyway. So
we're still waiting on that check. So that way we're not beholden, and we can kind of keep our opinions, and we don't have to worry about making a sponsor angry. So that's why we do that. But we try to put out as much content as we can. You'll hear from us usually. On our Facebook page, at least once a day, we post an interesting news story or video, and then during the week you'll get a video or two on some form of media.
Yeah, and I used to, and may go back to, posting videos from as a featured video from other content creators that we actually like and that we feel are offering good information. For example, Ben the Coin Geek, who I am doing a series with every Saturday right now. Last Saturday was first was part 1. Today, part 2 dropped, and part 3 drops next Saturday. So that's on the Ben the Coin Geek YouTube channel. And, you know, he's somebody who creates really good content and is helping us to, you know, spread our word of creating good content.
We've always been about education on our show. Education and having a good time. So those are my 2 favorite things. So
yeah,
that's kind of what we do. If you've never, you know, been exposed to our show, we like to have fun. We like to teach. We like to have, you know, just have interesting commentary about what's going on in the world in numismatics. I've been working in a shop for almost 20 years. When Mike and I started doing the show 10 years ago, he was a collector, a very, you know, very into it collector. And then just recently he, within the last year, started working for Harlan Burke in downtown Chicago. So it's,
I noticed the word knowledgeable was not coming out of your mouth there, but that's okay.
I was saying it in a roundabout way, Mike. You're much more book smart than I am. I'm the street smart one and you're the book smart one. How's that?
Yeah, it doesn't really do much.
Let's see here. Looks like Joe said, I was told the people that do the Gettysburg show are trying to secure a large venue in Baltimore, D.C. to replace the Summer Whitman. The convention center where it's normally held is doing vaccinations. That's the problem, is a lot of these large venues are being used for exactly that right now because the vaccines are out. They want to get this done. They want to, you know, everybody wants to be through it just as much as we do. And so I still just hopefully, I think it's going to be into summer before we can kind of start to do some of these bigger shows. And hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's much sooner. But the important part is doing it safe. So, yes. All right, Mike. Well, I think
no question about it. Safety is the primary.
Yes, sir. Safety is paramount. Well, sir, now we're going to get to probably your favorite part of the show. Lately, I've been not liking this because I've been getting my butt kicked.
Well, you know, this is just kind of the way things work sometimes. And over the years, you have absolutely awed me with some of the stuff that has walked into your shop. And if you go to our website, coinshowradio.com, there is a gallery of some of the stuff that has walked into Matt's shop over the weeks and over the years. And it's been some really cool stuff. But now it's time for...
And now for the coolest thing to walk in this week. A competition segment between Matt and Mike to see who's had the coolest thing walk into their shops. Who'll win this episode? Let's find out. Matt? Mike? Who's got the coolest thing?
Who's starting? You want me to go first?
I went first last time.
Okay.
You go first this time.
I will go first. Let me bring this up. How much do you know about Morgan Silver Dollars, Mike?
Not a lot.
We bought a very interesting coin this week. It came in actually from another dealer from Illinois. He drove over to see us and bring us a collection that he had purchased. We bought a 1901 Morgan Silver Dollar VAM3 double die reverse, which if you know even a little bit about Morgan Silver Dollars, this is probably one of the largest, and I think this may actually be the largest double die on the Morgan Silver Dollar series. There's heavy doubling in the tail feathers, the feathers and the arrows, the leaves, the points of the arrows, and actually up into the wings of the bird. You can really see the doubling, which is really cool. And this is actually a really tough coin. This coin was graded AU55 by NGC. It's a top 100 VAM, which makes it very, very collectible. And this is one of the maybe 10 VAMs I think that actually really matter, just because this is that big, giant double die. So that's what I brought. I don't know. It's going to be hard for you to beat this one because this is a rare coin, my friend. These are in this grade. They are tough coins.
There are not a lot of double dies in the Morgan series that I'm aware of.
There are a lot of double dies, but most of them are very minor. This one is very, very large in this, in that series compared to a lot of the little minor stuff. 1878 is notorious for having a lot of double dies, especially in Liberty across the front of her tiara. So there are a lot of dates that do have double dies, but to have one this big, I can't think of another this large.
Yeah, because I'm more used to like repunch dates
right,
and overmint marks and things like that with Morgans.
Certainly, yeah. That's what that series is really known for, and that's where there's a lot of interesting varieties. I mean, you have a lot of overdates. The 80/79. There's a lot of punch dates. There's a lot of
Die clashes.
You have a really cool O/CC mint mark variety in 1900. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that has to do with the actual the date or the mint mark. But this there's not a lot of large double dies. So I brought this one. I thought it was really cool. This was my coolest thing to walk in this week.
And on top of it, there is an unknown number as to how many are existent.
Well, certainly, yeah. Yeah, that's always right with these double dice. They don't really know.
And that's cool.
Yeah, it is. I know.
That's cool-ish. Because I brought another silver dollar.
Ooh.
And this one was made a little over 100 years before yours.
Oh, I just pulled the picture up. I hate you.
So this is a 1797 10x6 stars.
Yeah.
It's a drape bust dollar. The mintage on this coin was 7,776.
It has the small eagle, dragon eagle reverse is what I call those things. They look like a dragon with their scales.
Yes. And quite often with these coins, you can see adjustment marks and things like that for the planchets, which were done after the coins were struck. So I think that kind of stuff is really cool. Now, this just happened. Oh,
adjustment marks were usually done before they were struck. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I have to hit it. Sorry. Okay, you're good.
I'm having a bad show. All right. So anyway, this particular coin just happened to wander into the shop. It belongs to a collector that we know who wanted us to look at it, kind of evaluate it, give him an idea of what it was worth and what he wanted to do with it. I honestly don't know if there was an offer made, because I was really only concerned with the fact that it was sitting in this holder on a tray right in front of me, and I got to look at it and play with it for a little bit.
It looks like a nice coin. Looks original. The surface,
beautiful coin. It's in fantastic shape.
A little rim ding on the back, but I mean, other than that, the surfaces look nice. It looks original. I think they'll overlook the rim ding.
The 10x6 design is really cool because it kind of illustrates the fact that when they started this country, we had 13 colonies, and as they added, they were like, okay, well, we're going to add a star for every state, and it kind of got cumbersome kind of quick.
It did.
Yeah, so they stopped doing that right after 16. There's nothing with 17 stars, I don't think. So 16 stars seem to be where they cut it off, and this is an example. They did a 9x7 and they did a 10x6. And the 10x6, in my opinion, is just it's a beautiful coin.
Yeah, super cool. One of my favorite coins. All right, well,
so you can go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/thecoinshow, and you can vote in our poll as to who had the coolest thing this week. What is our? Oh, well, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I had the coolest thing this week. That's all.
No. Well, and that would be first in probably a month.
Ouch, burn.
It's competition, bud. I'm bringing it.
Whew. Hurt. All right, well, I think our time's up, buddy. Let's wrap this thing up. Say goodbye to everybody.
I think I'm going to let you go.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We really enjoyed being here for you guys. Mike, do you have anything you'd like to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to apologize for all the bad information I gave. But beyond that, it was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody at Newman Numismatic Portal. Thank you to Leanna.
I said it right.
Yeah. Hey. All right. So and thank you to everybody who joined us. You can find our projects at www.coinshowradio.com. That's right. And go and check us out and see what you think.
Yep.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube page where you will find a lot of our work.
Yep. Thank you, guys. You guys have a wonderful evening.
You've been listening to the Coin Show podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottelmann. The boys will be back soon with another informative and entertaining episode. Meanwhile, you can follow the show on social media at The Coin Show on Twitter and Instagram. and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Coin Show. You can also join their private group. Just search Facebook groups for Friends of the Coin Show and request access. But if you want to take it to the next level and support the Coin Show podcast, you can go to www.patreon.com/The Coin Show. If you subscribe at the $5 a month level or higher, you'll have access to Not the Coin Show podcasts on the off weeks, as well as other surprises reserved for our patrons. Visit our website at coinshowradio.com or download our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts. This has been the Coin Show Podcast.
I think I jumped the gun a little bit on turning on my camera, but everyone who has been watching, thank you, and thank you to Matt and Mike as well. Those of you at the symposium, if you would like to join our next session, it is with Angel Navarro Zayas. He will be talking about some countermarks on Puerto Rican coins. So that one should already be started if you want to hop over to that one. Otherwise, I hope to see you all back tomorrow for the last day of the symposium. Thank you.